Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-March 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our beautiful Aquarius friends in mid-March 2026? Lovely time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in mid-March. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this going and flowing for my good friends. Yep, quick, very quick. Ask and you shall receive. All right, you got the femme fatale this week, my friends, and she does not show up often. There are things that I really, really love about this card, but then there are also some things that I am very cautious about, right? Especially if you start looking at some of the symbolism there, the red rose, the Venus flytrap. It's like, ooh, okay. There's a certain allure to this. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more about the femme fatale. So if you look at the image here, we have this beautiful, lovely lady all decked out in red. We got the red bird, red rose, Venus flytraps. She gives me a lot of Queen of Wands vibes. And a big thing I always link with the Queen of Wands is self-confidence. So with her, it's like it's beautiful, it's confident, it's a sexy type of energy. There's a certain temptation and allure that shows up. But the big thing with the femme fatale is that, like, all right, it's alluring, but there's a danger, right? Like there's a certain level of danger underneath. Like when it comes to roses, a rose is beautiful. It smells really good, but the rose also has thorns. The Venus flytraps, they secrete a beautiful, sweet smell, and then they trap the insects that try to get that. So again, there for some Aquariuses, this could be spirit saying like, "Hey, watch out for temptation. Watch out for things that you find very tempting in this time." Or maybe there's something that you should handle cautiously, whether it's a situation, whether it's an individual. Spirits like step carefully with this. Um, but then there's also the beautiful self confidence as well, where it's like, all right, that rose is dangerous. Who gives a damn? I'm going to pick it and smell it anyway, right? So it all depends on what situations you're dealing with. Because for some of you, she's a great card to have. It's like feeling good, looking even better. But we're going to let her chill out right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Good energy, if you ask me. The reading was titled The Surprising Win. So I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes it's monetary. Sometimes you might just have a couple of really good days. Sometimes it's interpersonal relationships. But the big theme I was picking up was like something going my way better than I thought it would, or something going my way that I didn't even have it on my radar. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So that's a good thing. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aquarius. What do we got here in mid-March, please? Okay. Got the Queen of Cups. Strong, strong divine feminine energy this week. And we'll talk about her. I like her. I mean, she doesn't have that same edge that the femme fatale has, but it's a beautiful energy usually. Let's get a couple more here. What do we got for Aquarius? Thank you. Okay. Action. We got the Eight of Wands. That's a very fast moving card. So it's like we have a little mixture of stuff happening here. Let's get one more. What do we got for Aquarius, please? Thank you. Okay. All right. So you got a bonus here. Right here on the back end, we're getting a lot of people showing up, but we do have the Page of Swords. He showed up in another reading this week. And then your bonus is the Four of Swords. So there is this cautionary energy here, Aquarius, that I think is something we're just going to have to keep in mind as we move through the reading. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, Nice elemental mixture. We're not too heavy in one way or another. And I always say elements are important because it tells us how the energy is flowing or the areas of life that could be important. And we have water, fire, and air. Air is very good, especially in Aquarius reading, because that is your power element. That's your comfort zone, right? And even though you're the water bearer, you're technically an air sign. I say it every week, especially for people that are newer, right? But with the Page of Swords, Four of Swords, the element alone is the mind, the logical mind. It's very thought based, pragmatic, thirsting for information. That's a big thing when it comes to air, big when it comes to strategy and planning. It's very, very smart, very intelligent type of vibe, and air does link into communication. So the downside to a lot of air could sometimes be a little cold, a little detached. So it's something we want to watch out for as we move through the reading. We also have the fire right there in the center. That's a energy that's very much compatible with Aquarius. When it comes to the fire, that's the realm of action. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions other people take, the actions we decide not to take, think of energy levels. We think of physical health and well-being. We think of vitality. I always say it's passion, drive, and desire. It's our internal motor. And again, the action, what forces or moves the action further. The downside to fire is it could be a little volatile, right? Like sometimes it'll take a left on us, right? It's a little explosive. So especially with the fire air combination on the back end, we're going to need to keep an eye. And then obviously we got the water right there with the Queen of Cups. Water is the emotional realm. So the feelings, the things or people that we care deeply for. There's an emotional investment. Water is the suit of partnerships, like the people in our lives. It could also be creativity, emotional self expression. Think of art and any kind of expression. It's really great for that. The downside to water is that it's always moving. It could be very hot and cold and in and out and up and down. So the combination, there's a lot of different stuff going on. It's like we got the heart, we got the mind, we got the action in between. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the Queen of Cups. Now, a lot of the stuff I was saying about the femme fatale, we got a different take here when it comes to the Queen of Cups. Now, for a portion of you, this could be another individual. It could be a water sign. Remember, it's not gender specific. So, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Uh, all queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. And we just went in a little depth about the water suit and what that represents. It's the emotional realm. So, it's like we have the internal aspect of the internal suit. It's like a double down. So she is very strongly tied into emotion, intuition, energetic sensitivity. The positives with her, she's very nurturing, loving, and caring. This is an energy, it's a great shoulder to lean on if you need it. It's someone where you could vent. So I like her. She's like a good friend that won't judge you, and you could just tell her anything. The Queen of Cups is really nice like that. Huge expression of care and love. So we really like her. But the downside to the Queen of Cups is sometimes she could represent your emotional state, and you might be feeling things stronger than you normally do when she shows up. Like it's like a double down of that emotion. The Queen of Cups can also suppress, push things down till eventually it bubbles out. So that's something we want to watch out for, especially with this next card. Moving over to the center, we got the Eight of Wands, and we're going to get her tucked right back in here by the Amethyst. The Eight of Wands is one of the faster moving cards in the whole entire deck. And we have these eight wands, which to me, I always interpret them as arrows just cutting through the sky. This is one of the biggest cards of communication. So talks, messages, action, that's all implied here with this. And it's fast, it's rapid, it's fiery, which could be a good thing, right? Like for some of you, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. That's what I want. That's what I need. Don't want to wait around. Like this energy is like quick. Like let's go, let's go, let's go. But the downside to the Eight of Wands, there's an unpredictability to it, where it's like, all right, it's in such a rush that it makes a mistake, or it's an energy that jumps in too quickly. It leaps before it looks. It acts before it thinks. So that's something to watch out for in this time. Impulses is a big thing, or impulse control. So we'll see what's up with it. Now, moving to the back end, we do have one of your power cards. We got the Page of Swords. Now, again, it's air sign energy, so this could, in my simplistic style, the clarifier might just tell us something that's coming towards you or what you might be feeling. Could be another air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. But if that's not it, I always say pages are students and messengers, and this one is specifically called the Watcher of the Tarot deck. Notice that the Page of Swords is in a defensive stance, so he's cautious, taking in information, scanning the horizons. So remember, I said it since the beginning. There's like this underlying energy of like, all right, be careful with this one or keep an eye on it, whether it's a person or a situation. Spirit's not saying don't do it, but Spirit is saying just be cautious with how you do it. That's a big thing. This card can also show up when someone's got the microscope on us, right? When someone's got eyes on. So just know in this time you might be attracting more attention than you normally do, or maybe there's something you're keeping your eyes on or need to when this Page of Swords is here. The big downside, remember, it's like a surveillance. The big downside to the Page of Swords, though, it could be an energy that is overly cautious or overly closed off. So we want to look at it. And all pages could be a little shy and bashful. Now, moving to the very back end as we get this page tucked up here by the Celestite, is we have the Four of Swords. Complete opposite of this Eight of Wands right here in the center. We have this person, they look like they're sleeping. I would say this one ties in closely with meditation, prayer, mindfulness, spirituality. So it's great for that. Normally, this is a card that's taking a rest, taking a break, hitting the pause button for a minute and not rushing. So you see what I mean? We have this strong, intense feeling, then we got this really quick action. Then this energy here on the back end is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's slow it down. So I can't wait to see what shows up in the rest. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Aquarius? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that beautiful Queen of Cups? And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Queen of Cups. Why is she here? Okay. So a very similar thing in the Libra reading this week. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse. This is very, very sentimental, reflective. And I always say, like with the readings, especially these weekly readings that I do, we're trying to look ahead. We're trying to look and see what's to come. But this energy here is not looking ahead, it's looking behind. And that's like almost exactly what I was seeing in the Libra reading this week as well. The Six of Cups can sometimes represent things popping back up, things returning. Now, for some Aquariuses, maybe you're just taking some trips down memory lane. Maybe you're looking at some old pictures. Maybe you're just uh, in your mind and thinking about good memories and everything in between, right? That could easily be the case. Because this, to me, the Six of Cups is a card of soul ties, soul connections, but history, right? Like that's a big thing. It could be memories and history. So when I see it in reverse under the Queen of Cups, when you usually this is an energy that's looping back around. So whether it's something where it's like, I want to give it another go, it's almost exactly what I was picking up in the Libra reading this week. So again, watch out for any cycles or any things that pop back up or return or just memories. There's a sentimental energy I'm picking up here in a very big way. So we're going to have to see how it plays out throughout the beginning. There's an emotional tenderness. So if that's not you, if you're cool, if everything's fine and dandy, maybe someone around you is a little extra tender than they normally are. You know, when someone, you could sense something in the vibe where it's like, oh, something's off. Are you okay? You cool? No, no, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's giving me an energy like that, where someone's like, are you okay? You're acting a little different. No, no, don't worry. Everything's fine. It's giving me that vibe. So we're going to keep moving. Let's go in on the Eight of Wands. Don't be surprised if that pops up. But let's see what the Eight of Wands has. These are the ones I'm very interested in because we have the action and then we have the Watcher. So why is that Eight of Wands here? Thank you. Okay. So we got the Two of Wands in the upright, and usually that's an energy that's planned out. Where you know, sometimes where like you're trying to look into the future where it's like, if this happens, I will say that. Or if I talk to this person and they say this is how I'm going to respond. It's like preemptive. It's like a preemptive strike or someone planning something before it even happens. So like I do have this strong strategic planned out energy. But with the Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands combination, it's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do. So, and this could be someone else planning to make action, planning to reach out or have a conversation. It could be anything really. Um, the Two of Wands, we see this person. Sometimes it's a decision, it's a choice. Do I go left? Do I go right? But to me, it's one of the biggest cards of strategy and planning. And then when we have all this cautious energy here on the back, this could be advice from Spirit too, saying, Aquarius, listen, even if there's something you really want to do, or if there's something that you're really burning up about, Spirit might want you to slow it down for a second. Not saying don't do it, but there needs to be like guardrails for some reason. I don't know why that's coming through. Where it's like, oh no, there needs to be boundaries and guardrails and stipulations. I don't know why, but this is definitely someone planning some kind of action. That's for sure. It's like I already know what I'm gonna do. If I do this and they do that, I'll respond this way. It's like I'm planning 3, 4 steps ahead, like I'm playing chess. So let's go in on the Watcher and see what's going on here with the Page of Swords, and we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the Shadow. I mean, this could be good, right? Like with the Queen of Cups and this, the energy where it's like I'm looking back into the past, because this does imply someone learning from the past and moving forward in a different way, where it's like I've learned my lesson. But let's go in on the Page of Swords. Like I've seen this before, I've done this before, I learned already. Why's the page here? Okay. Okay. So we have the Tower in reverse underneath this Page of Swords. Uh, I don't hate it. But everyone knows, especially those of you that are readers, towers could represent shock. They could represent upheaval. So when I see the page, it's either one of two things. Either it is a warning saying like, hey, Aquarius, watch out, take it seriously, keep your guard up, boundaries, guardrails, all those things we're already talking about could be very necessary with the Page of Swords and the Tower in reverse. Hopefully this isn't someone over worrying or over catastrophizing either. Like there's a difference between being prepared and driving yourself into an anxiety spiral, right? Like because with the Page of Swords and the Tower, it's like I don't care what happens, I will be ready for everything. Like with all this energy here, I don't care what happens, I don't care what the response is, whatever happens, whatever actions, I will be ready. I will not be caught off guard. I'm just here to say you could be very well prepared for the future and how people are going to act and things that are going to happen. The universe will always throw a curveball. It's always going to happen at some point, right? Like we could be as prepared as we can be to meet any challenge, any situation, whether it's love, whether it's work, whether it's family. We could be as prepared as we want to be. Sometimes the universe will shock us, no matter how prepared we are. That's just the name of the game, right? That's just how it is. So I do feel like this can be an important or serious warning on the back end, where it's like, okay, you could be prepared. Nothing wrong with being prepared, but don't send yourself in a spiral to do it, because there's still going to be times where you get caught off guard. Still. So difference between preparation and anxiety. So this is going in a lot of different directions this week, Aquarius. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. Yeah, this could be a serious or an important warning. But position number one, we got the Queen of Cups with the Six of Cups in reverse. And this is an energy that's looking behind, potentially something popping back up. So watch out for different cycles or things or people even that pop back up and return in this time. Very possible with what we got going on here. There's a tenderness, there's a sentimentality. But moving to the middle, we have the Eight of Wands with the Two of Wands. I'm trying to plan for every eventuality, where it's like if they say this, I will do this. If they don't do anything, then I will do this. It's like I'm playing chess. I'm strategizing. I'm planning. So if that's not you, it could be somebody else being super strategic with how they move. Or again, it could be advice. Remember, I was saying guardrails. Don't just wing it. There needs to be guardrails. Moving to the back end, we have the Page of Swords with the Tower in reverse. Maybe that's the reason for the guardrails, right? I mean, you could try to prepare for every eventuality, but the universe is always going to throw us a curveball from time to time. So I feel like this could be an important or serious warning. We have had this energy since the beginning, where there is something that Spirit just wants you to be cautious about. You don't have to put all your energy and creative power into it. Remember, you are the creator of your experience. There's a difference between being prepared and being uh, anxious, going into a spiral, right? But that does feel like a warning. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Aquarius? And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get it going. One shadow card here for you, my good friends. What do we got for Aquarius, please? Nice and quick. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, Nine of Wands, it fits into the theme we've had throughout the whole entire reading, because the nickname a lot of people give the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. It's usually the picture of that guy who has built a wall of wands, and he has like the little bandage on his head where he has been through many things, right? He's been around the block, and he learns from those things that he's been through. This is a card that is guarded and cautious, just like we had here on the back end. So it does kind of reinforce this theme that there could either be a person or a situation for spirits, not saying don't get involved, just be cautious with it, keep an eye on it, right? Because there's a difference between preparation and anxiety, but there is still this energy that spirit wants you to keep a close eye on something, especially with this. um, a good thing with the Nine of Wands, right? Like, I keep going back to this preparation. It's good to not always assume the worst, but it's also good to be prepared for it too, right? Just being realistic. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the Nine of Wands is spirit just being like, all right, just be cautious with how you're moving. So, Aquarius, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight into your situation and you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the March subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 subscribers to win either a copy of the Everyday Witches Tarot, beautiful deck, or a handmade crystal pendant, which I showcase at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what zodiac signs do you get along best with? Which ones are your favorite? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.